I've never been in an earthquake. It just came and we couldn't get out. It all collapsed and all the doors were shut. We had to smash the window out, and then somebody drove up a box van. Do you understand a box van? And we just slid down a bit of a roof and jumped onto the box van and got down there.
What building was that again, sir?
Yellow Pages down Colombo Street.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Opposite the South Sea Mall. Yeah, and so we just had to...
So you walked all the way from the South City down Colombo?
Yeah, we've come round there, and because I'm in the Crown Plaza, but I need pills. I'm on 11 pills a day. I've had a heart bypass, so I need to really get some more pills.
So you've got to get your medication. Have you tried to get back to the Crown Plaza?
No, I'm just doing it now. I've just sort of circumnavigated my way around Christchurch.
What have you seen as you've walked back?
It's just a mess. It's a disaster. I was in Florida in '93 when Hurricane Andrew came. I was on holiday and we drove through there, and it's even worse. It's just devastation. I mean, buildings must be deaths this time, I hate to say.
Tragically, that is the case. Thank you, sir. We'll let you get back to find your medication. Yeah, tragically, as he said, timing, there must be deaths this time, and that is just a horrible thought, Sasha.
Yeah, it's a very scary situation. Thank you for that, Jendi. Now, we have had a confirmation from police that there have been multiple injuries. 2 buses have been damaged by falling debris from buildings, so we'll bring you more on that when we can. Right now, okay, I've just heard obviously in my ear that multiple injuries have been heard of in many different areas, so we will bring that information to you when we can. Now we're just going to have a look at some vision, multiple fatalities that was. Now we are going to have a look at some vision from the moment the quake hit.
This is a live earthquake. You can see the floors trembling and the rocks are falling down in Sumner, just outside Christchurch. This giant rock's just fallen on the RSA building, and you can see it's crushed the building there and the cars. It's terrifying. You're right.
Fucking crazy.
Welcome back. You're with the 3 News special on the Christchurch earthquake and some disturbing scenes there. We are going to cross now to our reporter who has put together a story on the damage to the cathedral.
Comes down, you got no chance. Can you all go back there, please?
This man was injured by a falling table in his restaurant, but even as he recovered, another aftershock hit.
The door and I hit with the table, you know, the table in the restaurant. Yeah, and 2-3 people just fallen on me. Yeah, so.
One of the city's most well-known landmarks, the cathedral, is badly damaged.
Oh, I work in the press, and the building just came down on our roof. Just came down on our head. Yeah, just 2 cuts, I'm fine.
You're right?
Yeah, good as gold.
Many workers in the city centre are unsure whether their colleagues are safe.
Where were you when you felt the shake?
In the press building.
What was it like?
Awful. Horrific.
Everybody okay there?
We don't know.
We think so.
We hope so.
The most frightening thing of my entire life. Absolutely scared shitless, to be honest with you.
With phones down, it's hard for Cantabrians to get in touch with their families.
Okay, how far back into the shop are you?
Unlike September, most weren't together when the quake hit, with parents at work and children at school. The airport's closed until further notice, and the terminal has been evacuated. Police are trying to clear everyone away from the centre, where many buildings are badly damaged and there's a risk they could collapse. Jane Luscombe, 3 News.
Right, we're going to cross back to Christchurch and have a look at some live pictures that we have now coming out of the scene. We have had confirmed that there are multiple fatalities in Christchurch.
I'm in the central city, which normally at this time of the day would be bustling with lunchtime shoppers. It's dead quiet apart from the sound of alarms, the odd radio going in smashed buildings. It's just awful. There are injured people, there are people crying for help. Everyone's in shock. No one can understand what's happened. The quake was just so serious. People are literally crying for their city.
Stand by. Rolling.
I'm in the centre of Christchurch, outside Ballantyne's. Normally this place would be bustling this time of day with lunchtime.
That's our reporter Jeff Hampton there in Christchurch. We are going to cross to some other live pictures that are coming now in from Christchurch. As you can see, the damage there is extensive. And a lot of these buildings were teetering on the brink of collapse anyway from the first earthquake in September. And now they've just given way under this huge earthquake. 5 kilometres deep, 6.3 on the Richter scale, but far more severe according to eyewitness reports. Just horrendous damage in the CBD. We have had confirmed that there are multiple fatalities, and we'll bring you those details when they come to hand. There are a lot of people injured. Christchurch Hospital's been evacuated. Now this is the cathedral. These are live shots coming out of the CBD. This is the square. And we've had a number of reports, as you can see there, of a lot of water coming into the city, burst water mains. People terrified, as you can see. A lot of people, as we've heard, crying in the streets, hugging one another. It was just a terrible time of day for this earthquake to have hit. Lunchtime, so many people in their businesses, places of work, children at school. Just terrible scenes.
Yeah, come out here. Come out here. Get out on the street, mate.
No, there's people. It's mental health. I don't know. I just saw the cars moving. I don't think it's
As we mentioned before, we have had confirmed reports that there are multiple fatalities and that there are people trapped in buildings. There have been several buildings that have collapsed entirely. We will find out exactly where. A lot of damage has been caused by this earthquake. As you can see, the injured are being taken away. Christchurch Hospital has been evacuated. So makeshift centres will presumably be set up around the city to treat the injured. That is Christchurch Cathedral, which has been severely damaged. So the earthquake, 6.3 on the Richter scale, 5 kilometres deep and very severe. We have footage of the exact moment that the earthquake struck.
This is a live earthquake. You can see the floors trembling and the rocks are falling down in Sumner, just outside Christchurch. This giant rock's just fallen on the RSA building, and you can see it's crushed the building there, and the cars. It's terrifying. You're right.
Fucking crazy.
So that was the moment that the earthquake struck in Christchurch. It struck at 12:51 this afternoon at a depth of 5 kilometres. Now it was centred 10 kilometres southeast of Christchurch. And it just looks like a war zone around Christchurch. Just terrible devastation. Although it was smaller on the Richter scale, it was very shallow, and people that were there said it was far more destructive and far more terrifying than that earthquake in September. The Mayor has asked for all people to leave the central city, but it's difficult to get anywhere. And the Prime Minister John Key addressed Parliament in the debating chamber just a short time ago. He said the people of Canterbury were once again going through a frightening and traumatic experience. He's called an emergency cabinet meeting for 3 o'clock this afternoon, and he then plans to head straight to Christchurch. The Civil Defence bunker has been activated as well. John Key says details are extremely sketchy, but the worry is, of course, that this devastating earthquake struck in the middle of the day. The streets were busy, people at work, children at school, and he could not rule out that there have been fatalities. And of course, we have had confirmed that there have indeed been multiple fatalities. We're unable at this stage to put a number on what that might be or where these people may have been trapped. The airport and the hospital have already been evacuated. Our reporter Kim Chisnell has just put together this story.
It was lunchtime in central Christchurch, and those that weren't outside already were soon out onto the streets in panic. Dazed and afraid, many were in tears. As buildings were reduced to rubble, members of the public helped to get the injured out. In the minutes after the quake, the first question was, is everybody okay?
Seen Jill next door. She's still in there. I don't know. Were you in at the time? Yeah.
Oh man, it's terrible. Was that the worst one you felt?
Oh, nothing this bad. The 7.2 is nothing compared to this. That was Tea Party stuff.
The extent of the damage is not yet known, but initial pictures show cars buried under the remains of buildings. Police have started checking those buildings to see if anybody is trapped.
Anyone there?
The National Crisis Management Centre has been activated, and people are urged to listen to the radio for updated emergency information. Christchurch Hospital was among the buildings that were hurriedly evacuated amid fears the earthquake might be followed by equally damaging aftershocks. Kim Chisnell, 3 News.
And of course, everyone around the country is trying to get in contact with people down in Christchurch with loved ones. And the phone lines are severely overloaded. Vodafone has just sent a message through asking for people not to make phone calls unless they're absolutely urgent. This applies for everybody around the country. Unless your call is an emergency or absolute necessity, please don't clog up the phone lines with unnecessary phone calls. The power is out, the water supply is affected. There's been a lot of flooding in Christchurch CBD. A number of buildings have collapsed, and we have had confirmed, just repeating, that there have been multiple fatalities. Of course, during the first earthquake in September, it was a miracle that you're seeing the Christchurch Cathedral there. It was a miracle, so many people said, that no one lost their lives. Well, sadly, in this case, this does not appear to be the case this time around. These pictures you're seeing from shortly after the earthquake, people hurriedly rushing into the streets, terrified, bringing comfort to one another. There were tears, people were screaming apparently. We've heard witness reports of people screaming from amongst the rubble as well. Injured have been taken away, but just the most terrible, terrible scenes. We're going to cross now to our reporter down in Christchurch, Jendi Harper and Jeff Hampton.
Hi Sashi, it's with me, my colleague Jeff Hampton, who's actually been able to walk a few blocks here through the centre of Christchurch, or what's left of it, Jeff.